So, welcome to a question you never knew you would ask. What does it take to drive a car at -40? Well, obviously, the first thing you need is a car. But this is a little bit more involved than that because this vehicle has already seen +40. So it's an 80-degree temperature swing. That's 80 degrees Celsius, not the American Fahrenheit or whatever it is. So obviously, the first thing you need to do is give us a like and a subscribe so you can follow on and we can explain to you what we've done to the base vehicle. The first thing you need, obviously, is a car. So behind us we have something a little bit special actually. So this is a petrol Volkswagen Tiguan 2-litre TSI, which is left-hand drive but English registered. So it was originally from Canada and we've imported it. There's a couple of reasons why we've done that. We couldn't get a petrol Tiguan, and at -40 petrol engines are far better than diesel engines. They start easier, and we wanted the four-wheel drive system. But there is a couple of modifications we're going to make to the car. But first and foremost, I'll run through what we've done to actually make this car survive those extreme temperatures. Now, one of the first things you need to do is make sure it starts. So we've uprated the battery, we've fitted a new Varta silver battery and a battery jacket. That's really important because when you want that car to start at -40, those cold cranking amps really help. And an AGM battery, it's got a little bit more sort of protection against freezing, and this jacket really helps. We've also fully serviced the vehicle, and it's quite exciting actually because we're going to have a partner with us on the journey up to Finland. So we'll do that little release a bit later on. So obviously we've changed all the fluids in the vehicle. The coolant has to survive at -40. So we've changed the engine coolant. We also changed the coolant bottle because the car's a little bit older. It's a 2013. We didn't want the bottle to fracture. Anything below -30, you don't have very long outside. So we don't want anything to go wrong. We changed all of the differential oils and all the gearbox oils just because if you don't prepare any vehicle properly, then you need to prepare to fail. We've changed the windscreen wipers because we need to see. We've also generally serviced the car, discs and pads, but obviously if your vehicle's in good condition, you don't need to do that. And from then on in, we've had a few little problems. So we noticed that the boot, the button for the boot, the plastic was broken. So we wanted to change that because we didn't want any moisture ingress. It's just an old car thing. Obviously when the snow goes, that then blows up the back of the vehicle. It can melt, and what we didn't want it doing was opening the boot. And coming to opening the boot, when you get to -40, what you don't want is the boot gas struts to be weak. So we've changed them for new ones so the boot doesn't come down on your head when it's cold. We've got a couple of spares in the vehicle, just things from our experience. We've got another ignition coil, although we did put 4 new ignition coils on it. Because I bought the car used, I had it about an hour and I managed to get a fault where we lost 2 cylinders because the coils were failed. So if you've got 2 go down, you might as well change all 4. We also changed the spark plugs. But a little bit about this vehicle. One of the problems we've had already at +40, the Tiguan badge has fell off, and as none of us can spell, we haven't bothered to put it back on. We've changed the number plates so that we've got the UK thing in there. And other than that, we've just cleaned the car. We've actually used a SuperGuard finish just because it's nice to keep the vehicles clean and then the road dirt doesn't stick. And I've done a few things. I've changed some coding so that the windows wind down with a remote control, and with an American spec vehicle, the horn used to sound whenever you pressed the lock button. We've coded that out just because it's a bit irritating in Europe. I'm not actually sure if it's legal in Europe, but we didn't want to be waking people up when we come at night. So what I'll do now is document some of the actual additional changes that we're going to make. So the base car will now survive at -40, but what we want to do is make it that little bit more special. One of the key things we definitely have to do is fit 3 Peak Mountain Snowflake Nordic winter tyres. These are not for that car. We do have some. We'll do a little reveal on those. They're a little bit special to us. So these are a pin tyre. And we're going to fit a DEFA warm-up. So what this does, when you're in Finland, we'll modify the car, we'll fit this, and we can plug the car in. There's little posts everywhere in Finland. And what you then do is you plug the car in, and with an app in this case, because it's the new one, we can make the car warm when we get in. It's got a fan heater, so the car's nice and hot when we get in, and it also charges the battery. We've got this lovely, I'll zoom in later, new light bar by a new company called OZZ. They're very nice and bright. It's much easier if you can see. It's very important, visibility, not only see, but be seen. There's a lot of animals up there. It's very dark, 24 hours darkness at some point. And we're interested to try this yellow screen. Apparently yellow makes it much easier on your eyes, and it gives a lot more definition in the snow. So we'll do a review of fitting that. Hopefully it fits easy, because we've got a kit for that. It's meant to work with an app. So what we're going to do is plug this kit into the OBD port, and then theoretically this kit can actually see when we put the main beam on, and the light will come on with main beam. And another little modification that we decided we were going to do is we're going to fit and code in the off-road mode. So that vehicle's already fitted with an interesting bumper. They did an Escape model in Europe which had an off-road function. It locks the Haldex differently, and the vehicle's a lot more capable in low traction environments, which is where it's going to be used on the snow and ice. But the front bumper is quite different. It's got quite a nice slope to it, so the approach and departure angles are different. Luckily that seems to be pretty standard in the North American market, so we didn't need to fit that. We want that because if we're driving through deep snow, the vehicle's got a little bit more underbody protection, and it's going to clear that snow quite easily. So what we'll do now is I shall do an in-depth review of the different pieces that we're putting on the car, and just run around a little bit of what we've done already to make the car work. So if you want to follow us on this story, this little adventure, we're really excited to bring you along. So please don't forget to give us a like and a subscribe, and wait to see what we're up to next.